Hello everyone, this is Yoshi542. Today we're going to have two replays that I got over the weekend, and both of them are, well, not highlighting me playing amazingly well, but playing competently enough. And a little bit of RNG will be in factor in this game, as my my first game is going to be on the Tier 8 Chinese Heavy 110 tank on Sand River. The second game will also be on a different map and a different tank, an E-100 on, I forgot the name of the map, but when we get to it, I'll go into detail with that. But let's get started with the 110 video first. So let's unpause this replay and get started. So we spawned on the northwest corner of the map, and the opposing team is obviously on the southeast. Now most heavies and TDs will be heading to the southwest corner as they basically face off there. So I'm going to speed this up for a bit so we can get into the action pretty quickly. Go over to the dunes here, and I'm going to slow it down a bit. Normal speed right about now. Here you see quite a few tanks that I just spotted, an IS-3, an IS-8, and a T-54 E-1. I did not spot that VK-45, but that's okay. So there's my first shot, well, first hit, and I also landed my first shot, but it didn't damage. So I bounced an easy shot from a Caernarvon. Now the thing about the 110, as if you've seen in my 110 overview video, it's actually a pretty good tank defensively because it has that pike hull, has very well-rounded turret, and it's decent thickness in terms of frontal plate. Now, not much is going to happen here. There's going to be a little bit of back and forth, people trying to posture into a good position, hoping to penetrate with a solid shot. And that happens with everyone in these situations. We have a T-57 Heavy, an E-75, an IS-3, myself, and a Jagdtiger also behind us. I'm over here and I've exposed myself. I try to zoom in and take a shot. I fire, and it bounced. There's the IS-3, which has a really great position, to be honest. He missed his shot towards me. I missed my shot back at him. And I'm aiming for the Caernarvon here, and he has barely anything showing. I'm going to take a aim shot, center mass, and that actually hit the top of the turret, doing damage. So he doesn't move, so I'm going to take another shot again, since I haven't moved. And that also penetrated. Low roll there. And the Caernarvon backed off, and he's hidden from view for now. We still got a bunch of tanks in our view range, and I get hit by FE-25B, a tier 10 British heavy, but he only damaged my track. I tried an aim clutch shot towards that Caernarvon, but nothing. 215B fires again, also no damage. And I miss my next shot again, well, not miss, but no damage on the Caernarvon, so he bounces a fair amount too. There's another bounce, and this one's from a T-95. Which was fortunate when you think about it, because T-95 is pretty hard hitting. But when he fired again at that speed, that means that he's not using the 155mm gun. So the T-95 is using a stock gun, I think. That's why he didn't penetrate, because he didn't have a high enough penetration. So I back up, I bounce another shot from Caernarvon yet again, and that's 4 shots, but this time he actually damaged my gun. Lucky guy. So I go over here. I don't repair my gun, but I will. I take a ricochet to the side from the IS-8, oddly enough. I try to fire back at him, but I do net damage. I reposition, hoping that if he's going to fire at me again, it won't penetrate still. But the T-57 Heavy finishes him off. So we're doing good, and we've taken out a few tanks here. Well, but it's far from over, so I'm gonna zoom in, try to get a shot off, and I'm gonna aim at that 205B that was shooting at me. bounced him easily. I bounced or ricocheted another shot from the Canarvon with 215 hits, and I get another turret shot, and this one penetrates and damages him. Now the Canarvon's sitting there. I try to get a shot off, but it hit the dirt in front of me. Low shot. I aim again, and he died right before my shot could have hit him. I might have been able to kill him if I fired in time, or if it reloaded a bit faster. So we're going to push forward here, and there's that near dead VK4502A. I bounced a shot, luckily. And me and Nice Street both tried to climb the hill, but we couldn't, so we slide back down, and we were positioned in this little dip in the dune, so to speak. Now you're going to see me klutz this up pretty badly, and I want to take a shot off at him, but I don't want to risk the side of my turret to the T-95, so I'm constantly maneuvering, hoping that I can get a shot off. And there's an area, but nope. He misses, hits the dirt. I try to get shot, but he's backing up forward, and my turret traverse is just not enough to stabilize and take a shot off at him. So the Yog Tiger kills him instead. Here's a T-95, and he's staring right at us. And this is a bad situation, but he's slowly backing up because he realizes, okay, I'm outnumbered here. Probably want to back up. That Ice Tree got in my way. I wanted to take a shot at treads and then start charging him from the side. Instead, I just YOLO him. Yep, I YOLO. And you can see my aim is bobbing as I'm moving forward. But I use APCR and I took out his treads. So that's what I wanted to accomplish. Here he looks like he might have repaired, or he has a high repair crew, I don't know. But I took out his treads again. And he did damage a fuel tank, but I got around him to his rear and 3 pot shots at his back. I ricochet from the side or the back from an AMX 1375, which is pretty nice. Still damage the guy, and I angle my armor to the direction where I'm being shot at so I can hope to bounce. And I finish him off. And another bounce from the AMX 1375. And by the time I turn around, he was killed by the T-57 Heavy. There is a T-28 prototype staring in my direction, but I don't have the gun depression to deal with him. And the Yog Tiger kills him as well. Now at this point, I'm thinking to myself, wow, I bounced a lot of shots, even though I took a beating from T-95 there. It was still a lot of shots that I bounced, which is pretty impressive considering I was bouncing shots from a 215B, Canarvon, a T-95, and even an IS-8 and a VK4502A. So, as well as I think a side or a rear shot from the AMX 1375. Now I'm gonna charge forward here. I think, okay, I should be safe. I got a lot of my allies' tanks here, and if someone was gonna shoot at him, they would have killed him by now. But I don't. But you're gonna see something very, very sad. Here's a Pavilion. I'm gonna die in a couple seconds now. There's a T-30, and there you go. I guess he decided to pick somebody, and there was me saying, no. I was very sad because if I lived through this game, I would have guaranteed gotten a steel wall. I would have gotten a steel wall considering I bounced so many shots. I ricocheted, I bounced, no damage, you name it. But it didn't happen. So eventually my allies will clean it up. We have a massive lead. We even have someone capping. And the chances of them winning this are practically impossible. So I'm just gonna speed this up, because it doesn't really matter what happens here. They all die anyway. And there we go. GG. So we'll take a look at the post-game stats. Okay, so here's the post-game stats of that game with 110 on the Sand River. Now, you can see I spotted quite a few tanks, actually. A lot of them, especially early on. Well, there was more damage done by allies than I saw, but I did help contribute to that. I got a 3 times multiplier because this game was taken, as well as the next game that's going to be shown in the Veterans Day event or whatever. 3 times multiplier for first win of the day. per tank. So yeah, you can see I didn't damage too much here, but I'll show you more of what I did. Here's my overall stats. 19 shots fired, 16 hit, 8 penetrated, so less than half penetrated, damage 1680. Not much damage, but that's not the point of this replay. But the big number that mattered here was damage blocked by armor. I blocked a lot of damage, and to be honest, if I lived through that, a steel wall would have been amazing. I would probably gotten more XP and more credits out of it, but what could you do? That asshole T30 hunted me down, I guess, or decided to deny me my steel wall. It can't be helped. You can see my other teammates here, they did very well in damage, especially that T57 heavy. He dominated the opposing team. Look at all that damage that he did. And he had twice as much XP gained as the second guy in terms of damage. So that tells you a lot. I actually got the second highest XP, I believe, out of all the people of my team, and I was 2 tanks lower, or 2 tiers of a tank lower. So, not bad. Here's a detailed report. I did use some APCR, so I didn't gain too many credits, and I don't have premium, so, you know, it is what it is. But, seeing as this replay is done, we're going to go into the next replay. Okay, this is the next replay, and this will be on my E-100, the Tier 10 German Heavy, on Live Oaks. That's the name of the map. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I will. Or maybe I won't. Anyway, I'm going to basically be heading north to the city, as well as many of the heavies in my team, and, you know, that's pretty common to see in this map. That northwest quadrant, where it's basically a small city, or a small town, both sides of the teams head there with mainly their heavies or TDs, while the mediums and maybe a TD or two will go to the bridge area on the southern side of the map. So let's get started. Now, I haven't put out any videos really regarding the E-100 yet, but if I get some good footage over the next week or two, since I'm playing World of Tanks a bit more again, I may try to make an overview video, but for the time being, if I get some decent replays that I think are worth posting, I'll probably upload them on YouTube. But for here, we'll speed this up to about 4x as I get into the position. Seeing as this is a massive tank, it's also pretty slow. But I guess it's mobile enough considering how big and heavy it is. One thing I do want to note in this game, as I slow it down to 1x, is pay attention to the 113 on our team. This guy, he's going to do a great job in my opinion. Me, I end up being more of a support fire guy instead of a frontline brawler type of guy. In this game, at least. So, I get stuck in a little thing here on the church. But I destroy a house just to get out of that bad situation. And I'm gonna reposition myself. And there's a T-5041 that just killed an M46 Patton. So I try to see him, and I believe I fired a P. I'm not 100% certain, but he has weak turret in terms of armor, so I penetrated through him and did a good solid 705 damage. And that, if you notice that, I actually landed like just at the end of the gun mantlet before the actual gun barrel. So here's 113, and he's in a good position. He's gonna be basically trolling the mouse and the enemy 113 in that spot most of the game. Here's an E5. I have a heat loaded. Clean shot at the lower front plate, and I'm sure he didn't like that, but I took a shot back from him because let's see if we can pause this and look. There it is. You see that hole right there in the center, the lower front plate? That's where he hit me. Clean shot right there. That was unfortunate for me, so I'm gonna start side scraping here, and back to pop view to my perspective. There's an E3 and no, E5 and E4. He bounced off me for some reason, and I kind of fired haphazardly there, but it did penetrate him. And there's an RD that hit the top of my turret. You can see the red marking right there at the very top. So he had a nice shot that landed on my turret, and I am a big target, so RD bait, that's kind of obvious. But I also have a super heavy spawn liner to lower the damage from artillery. There's E5. I notice him. I think he notices me. He backs up as he takes a shot from. I'm not sure what hit him. I don't know if that was the 113 that just damaged him for 572. There goes my ammo rack. Not really. I didn't blow up at least, but nice shot by the Lorraine 51. I fired, then I repair. Because, well, I think it makes more sense to do that. But I kill off the E5. And I'm still sitting here, but I realize maybe I should move somewhere, otherwise this Lorraine 51 is going to keep picking at me. I have just a little bit over half health at the moment. Just a little bit. Now, we're dominating this side of the map. I mean, we lost a Waffentrager, but the 113 is still there, and I have finished off that 113 with a nice 633 damage shot. I am using heat because, well, AP penetration this thing is garbage. Let's be honest. If you play this tank, you know it has extremely low AP pen for tier 10 heavy. Pushing forward again. Still have heat loaded. And we start mopping up the city. I want to get a shot off on the C4. They damage him, and I finish him off. I get some good kills, or at least good kill steals in this game. I switched back to AP and intuition kicked in, which is convenient. So we're moving forward, and the rest of us that survived this area, we're going to just push straight to the city, go for the cap, clean up the artillery or the last remaining stragglers, and at this point there's not much else to say. I played well this game, but not too good. I didn't do the job the 113 did, where I think he deserves more credit than I do. I just picked off guys. He did the job of baiting the shots in and using his good armor, or at least his good frontal armor and his well-protected turret. And he hit his lower plate. That was the weakness of the 113 tank, which is, well, most tanks. You could shoot their lower front plate because it's easy to penetrate that, lesser armored. But he was hulled down and he had it very easy. He side-scraped and he just kept going, and he did work. So did I. Now, the last tank on the enemy team surviving is the Lorraine 51, and he's gonna die too, obviously, but I wanted to kill him because he was picking off at me, and he did a fair amount of damage. Yeah. He and the E5 were the ones that damaged me. I was surprised I actually bounced a shot off the E4 there. So, I sit here. I know what's gonna happen. I'm not gonna reach him in time. And the E5 finishes him off. So yeah, that was a fairly one-sided game, and to be honest, I did not expect the game to turn out that way. I thought, it could have been a close game, but considering they had more TDs, but our team played very well on both sides of the map. So we'll check the post-game stats. Here's the post-game stats of that E-100 game on Live Oaks. As you can see, I didn't really engage or spot too many people, about 5 tanks. I did damage the 113, the T-5041, those I killed. Well, no, not the T-5041. I killed 113, T-5041 I damaged, but he eventually died. Killed the E5, and yeah, kind of stole the E4 as well. So, moving on here, we're gonna sort this out by damage done. I was top damage for my team. And was I top XP? No, actually I was not. Our own Lorraine 155, I believe, is top XP, and beat me out by 8 XP. But take a look at my stats. We'll see here. All 6 shots fired, hit, and penetrated, leading to the 3765 damage. Damage blocked by armor, 1150. Yeah, I believe that 1150, that could have been a couple of the bounces I received. That might have been one from the, whatchamacallit, the E4, and I believe one maybe from the E5 as well. Not much else to say at this point. You can take a look at a detailed report. I did spend mostly heat rounds, but I believe I got a 60k credit for this because it might have been due to whatever weekend event it was. I forget the exact specifics, but I got 60k credits, and that's what counts. So I had enough to pay off the minor repair costs and me using up all those heat shells. Oh, no, I think the reason why is because I actually have a surplus store of E-100 heat shells that I bought from a sale over a year ago. And since I'm sort of coming back into the game, well, it doesn't show me actually, auto resupplying the ammo cost. If anything, it just auto resupplies ammo cost for the AP shells, or heat, or not heat, but HE shells. So this game, pretty standard, run of the mill, maybe slightly above average, at least in my opinion. But it was a really interesting game because for the first time, I was a support tank and I was actually getting some good shots in and I was getting kills. I was getting something that I normally don't get with that tank. Normally, if I played E-100, I kind of front line the tank. I send it to the front, I have it meet shield, that type of thing, and hope that I could use the heat rounds of the E-100 to penetrate and at least do 2,000, 3,000 damage on average per game. Here, I did something else. I played support. I helped uh, alleviate the pressure from our team's 1-1 by keeping the E4 and the E3 or E5 busy, and I eventually took them down. So that's enough of that for the replay. So I hope you enjoyed this. I kind of did. And I'll try to put up maybe more replays or Battlefield 4 content later this week. But this is Yoshi542. If you enjoyed this, please like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for watching.